unfairly, very different from anybody else. If you go over not only history, I mean, you go over any aspect of life, you'll see how unfairly we've been treated. We've done a fantastic job. Everything to me is about corruption. We want to find out what happened with 2016, and as you know, there's a lot of work going on in that. I don't care about Biden's campaign, but I do care about corruption. His campaign, that's up to him. Politics, that's up to them. I don't care about politics. Politics, as I think I made clear, and yesterday somebody asked me a question, and I gave an answer, but always in the form of corruption. What I want to do, and I think I have an obligation to do it, probably a duty to do it, corruption. We are looking for corruption. When you look at what Biden and his son did, and when you look at other people, what they've done, and I believe there was tremendous corruption with Biden, but I think there was beyond corruption, having to do with the 2016 campaign and what these lowlifes did to so many people, to hurt so many people in the Trump campaign, which was successful despite all of the fighting us. I mean, despite all of the unfairness. So we are looking at corruption. We're not looking at politics. We're looking at corruption.
So, and the reason is, I think the more you up the ante, the cost to Russia for their aggression. I mean, as you all know, and you know this better than anybody, the one big lie going on about Ukraine back in the rest of Russia is that no Russian soldiers are engaged, they're not dying, no body bags are coming home, et cetera, because there's overwhelming opposition on the part of the body politic in Russia for engagement in Ukraine in a military sense. Do I think I think the Donbass has potential to be able to be solved, but it takes two things. One of those things is missing now, and that is I'm desperately concerned about the backsliding on the part of Kyiv in terms of corruption. They made, I mean, I'll give you one concrete example. I was, not but it just happened to be that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones. So I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time. Well, there's still, so they made some genuine, substantial changes institutionally and with people. But in one of the three institutions, there's now some backsliding.
It's not the record that you have with African Americans, but it's the rhetoric that we've been seeing. And I want to go back to what you said on election night. You say, now it's the time for America to bind the wounds of division. I say it's time for us to come together as one united people. I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans.
It's true. And I mean it maybe even more now than I meant it then. But there is a tremendous divide between Republicans and Democrats, between ideologies, whether it's healthcare. I listened to some of the healthcare plans that would be so destructive, and you see what we're doing, and you see what, when you want to take 180 million people off private health insurance, where they love it. They just love it. They fought for it. They want it. They work hard for it. And, you want to take it away from them. There's a divide, and that's one of many things. And I'm actually surprised by, the level. Look, it was here for President Obama. It was here for President Bush. It was certainly here for President Clinton, if you go back. But there is a divide. There's no question about it. And I think it can change. I really do. It started on a bad foot when, this whole hoax was created with the Russian hoax. Today, you see somebody even said it with respect to Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell could not care less about Russia. It's, you know, when they throw out these phrases and they think it's wonderful and they say, let's play it. I do believe that there's a chance that we can do something. It would be in a second term. I really think we could probably do something and a lot better. That would be one of the things that I'm a little bit surprised at. I thought there'd be better unity. We're accomplishing a lot. We're getting what we want. The military is being rebuilt. The tax cuts we got. The regulation cuts are the biggest of any president in history, even if it was a much longer term of years. But with all of the things that we've got, I mean, think of VA choice, think of all of the things that we've got, you would think that that would make people happy.
But they read the tweets. Do you think that you're a uniter as president?
Well, you know, if I got fair coverage, I wouldn't even have to tweet. It's my only form of defense. If the press covered me fairly, I wouldn't need that. But they don't cover me fairly. For instance, today I was in Jamestown. I made a speech that was said to be a very good speech. It was not a political speech at all. It talked about 400 years ago. I mean, it was an amazing, very important period of time. And there was one protester stood up. And he stood up and he held up a sign and he said, whatever he said, something. He got more publicity than the speech got. Now, I don't need publicity, Steve, at all. But I just thought it was so terrible. And it was on Fox with John Roberts. And he talked about the protester for almost the entire segment of that. And I said, isn't that a shame? One guy stands up, not an impressive person. He stood up and he got all of this. He took the whole thing away. One person. It wasn't like, gee, we have 25,000 people going crazy. There was one person. And I say, that's pretty sad.
States.
So I've been doing this for a long time. That is the loudest I've ever heard anything in this room. You just broke the record. Unbelievable. Well, I want to thank you all, and I have a lot of friends, but... And this is a place, 1799 it was built, 1799. Started off with number 6, John Adams, president, and so it's a long time. It's the White House, so we love it, and it's an honor to have you. But you really did. You broke the sound barrier. I've never heard that. I've never heard it quite like that, and I appreciate it. We love you. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm honored to welcome everybody and these incredibly talented and unbelievable, patriotic young American leaders. You're going to be the leader, somebody I would be almost willing to bet, maybe even willing to bet, somebody in that audience right here, right in front of me, is going to be standing here someday. Yeah! I think so.
Yeah, this is a little too tall for me. First of all, I just want to say I love President Donald J. Trump. The media is attacking him, but when they attack him, they are attacking us. Because he is out here fighting for us. And they are harassing you, Mr. President, so they are harassing me. And I want to say one more thing here. A while back, President Trump said, when he was talking to the black community, if you vote for me, what do you have to lose? Because the do-nothing Democrats have done nothing for the black community. 2020 is around the corner. And we have a lot to lose now because President Donald J. Trump has done so much for the black community. Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you. Jones. Van Jones, he's another beauty. Thank you very much, Van, for the wonderful acknowledgement. I appreciate it. To give every American child the best chance to reach the American dream, we're fighting for school choice. Very important. Sadly, Democrat lawmakers care more about catering to lobbyists and powerful teachers' unions than they do about improving our schools for our children. And Democrats care more about
illegal immigrants than about their own African-American constituents. It's true.
They want to give health care to people that just walked into the country, and for you, they don't care. The whole thing is crazy. These people have gone absolutely nuts. While we're fighting for the American way of life, the hard left and the radical left is working to trample the rule of law, erode individual liberty, and exert a far-reaching control over our lives. Left-wing censors have launched an all-out campaign against free speech. That is why they are trying to silence, deplatform, cancel, punish all of the proud conservative voters, all of the proud African-American voices that know what's happening and know how to become big, successful people, help other people. They want to silence you. But we know, the patriots in this room, will never be intimidated. I know that. I know that. So here with us today is Kieran Boland, president of the Texas State University. That's a big deal. Turning Point USA chapter, who has bravely defended the right to free speech. And Kieran, would you please come up and say a few words, please? Thank you. I thought so. Oh. I love her hair.
So last year on my college campus, they did try to ban Turning Point from our campus. So we fought strong and we prevailed. The piece of legislation was completely unconstitutional, and we are still fighting strong on our campus. So we're still there. I just want to thank Donald Trump for everything you have done for us. We are so incredibly honored to be here, and you've done so much for this country, and thank you so much. I'd also like to thank Turning Point for giving me the platform and the confidence to fight for our right for freedom of speech. It hasn't been easy, and it will not be easy, but being a part of Turning Point and be able to see all of you accomplish so many of your goals and to help fight for the freedom of speech, it's honestly amazing, and it gives me so much hope. Our generation is playing a vital role in keeping our First Amendment rights, and we're going to continue to keep up that fight. So all of you on your campuses or in high school, I know a lot of y'all are in high school, continue to fight for your right for freedom of speech, because you know where you stand, and everyone else can know where you stand too. So just keep up that fight.
Thank you. Thank you, Kieran.
Thank you very much, Kieran.
I got to get the other cheek. Now I feel better.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. And thank you, Charlie Kirk. First of all, Mr. President, we would like to thank you for everything that you've done for the African American community so far. We thank you for criminal justice reform. We thank you for the lowest Black unemployment rate in this country, sir.
Thank you.
And finally, most importantly, sir, thank you for saving America, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, sir, thank you for taking on the fake news media, sir. Finally, we want you to build the wall, sir. Frankly, because we don't oppose immigration, but we oppose illegal immigration. So we want you to come to this country legally if you're going to come to this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ben. And that's from the heart. That's from the heart. That's what it's all about. The young leaders in this room remind us that true power in our nation is not found in government or hallways or anywhere. It's found not in the media boardrooms,
it really is where the strength is. It's in our people. It's in your hearts. It's in your courage, your spirit, your faith, and your pride. Together we will defend the benefits and the beliefs that you want and you have and you're entitled to, the traditions and God-given freedoms that make our country the greatest in the world, and even, I think we can say, right now, the greatest in the history of the world, just like your unemployment numbers, greatest in...
You know what? I was thinking, every single president that comes into office after 2 years, they look so much older. He seems to be the only president that's getting younger. He has somehow found the fountain of youth. I think he gets up out of bed. It's the fight. He loves the fight. He really does. We are so blessed. And listen, let me say this. The media, the audacity of them to think that they are going to impeach our president. No. It's not happening. It's absolutely not happening, not under our watch. We need to make sure we fight for this man, the one man who is standing up for Black America. We are going to fight for, guys. We have to keep it going.
That's so nice. Outstanding person. She's another one. You're going to have to compete with her, too, for this position, I suspect. Thank you very much. So